Welcome back, everyone. In the previous presentation, we were inside of Intune and we enabled the Citrix connector for Windows 365. Again, that configures Intune to expect users to log into their cloud PCs using the HDX protocol, and it'll tell Windows 365 to install the appropriate software into the image. Next up is going to be connect Azure Active Directory, Entra ID, to Citrix Cloud. Now, what is that for? Well, right now, if I had to log into Citrix Cloud, I would have to use what you would call a Citrix identity credential. It has nothing to do with Entra ID. So the next step up here is to configure Citrix Cloud to allow administrators and users to authenticate using their Entra ID credentials. So we got to connect that together. The previous step was all done inside of Intune. In this case, all of our steps are done inside of Citrix Cloud. So I've already got a tab open here, and this is the home page for Citrix Cloud. So what I want to do is, since this is the DAS product, I need to hit Manage for DAS. All right, now on the left-hand side, you're going to see a menu of options here under Manage. What we're interested in is the last one down at the bottom called Quick Deploy. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to open up a menu for us. What we're interested in right now is this very first option, number one, connect Azure Active Directory, Entra ID, right? And so we're going to go ahead and hit Connect, and it's going to take us to a section called Identity and Access Management. You'll notice the only thing that's currently set up is called Citrix Identity. It's going to hold our credentials right there at Citrix Cloud. That's not going to work for us here. So we need to add support for Azure Active Directory, Entra ID. So if on the right-hand side, we see the little short menu, we're going to right-click on that and then hit Connect. Confirm your custom administrator sign-in URL to authenticate to Citrix Cloud using Azure Active Directory, right? So it says if you haven't previously consented to the application permissions in Azure, you must be a global administrator to complete this step. So I'll come back in here and put in my URL for this. Okay, and hit confirm. That's what we have in the upper right-hand corner for this Citrix Cloud deployment. Now, Entra ID is challenging me to authenticate with the proper credential in Entra. So this is where you'd have to be a global admin in order to get this connector to actually work. Now, I'm using a password manager system, so I'll go ahead and fill that in. This is a worker school account, and now I need to add my password into here. And sign in. Yes. And you may end up getting a challenge from Entra saying, do you wish to allow this to complete? I have done this in another exercise before, so it didn't challenge me again. But if this was the first time you've ever done that, you'd see a challenge saying, do you wish to allow this? And you would have to acknowledge that. All right, so now we've got Azure Active Directory Entra ID integrated in with our Citrix Cloud environment. Now, if I come back over here to my little step menu and click on Azure Active Directory to Citrix Cloud, you'll notice it does give admins a step-by-step guide on how to get accomplished what I just showed you. That's the challenge that you may see. And once you get finished, you're now done with this section. All right, when we return, we're going to come back and pick up on the next step, which is going to be configure Citrix Workspace.